All right, back again at Service Rocket 2022. I got it right this time. I had to pause a little bit. And of course, well, cheers, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Yes, right.
Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's just us. Today, we have Blake Monforte, Jordan Wiggins. They are with billyGO. And you haven't heard of billyGO. Well, one's wearing a billyGO shirt, one's wearing a Sarah shirt. They're kind of one in the same house, which is kind of neat. And had a great conversation with these gentlemen last night, and we're going to talk a little about the sales role from the selling tech's point of view. So, right over to one of you guys. How'd you get started?
Yeah, I'll get started. So, Jordan and I have the same role in billyGO. billyGO, we're selling technicians. So, what that consists of is a lot of responsibility. First and foremost, taking care of the customer and giving the customer a good experience. And how that's done is finding out, the customer's needs, their wants, and not being too focused on your goal. Because I find that with a lot of selling technicians, that can be a challenge of, since you're able to sell equipment now, it's just go for the home runs all the time. Right. Whereas, we take a lot of pride in actually, planting seeds, doing what we need to do that day to keep the customer's experience at a high level and having them continue to want to work with us. So Jordan and I are the two top guys in this location, and we get a lot of customers who want us back in their home, right? And we take a lot of pride in that when they ask for us, when they say, hey, I want Blake Monforte in my house, or I want Jordan Wiggins in my house. That's something that we take a lot of pride in. And Jordan's very good at what he does as far as technical selling. And I can't say enough how much I love working with this guy and how much the customers love having him. So I'll let him speak.
Yeah, I would pretty much second that mostly as well. Blake, one of the many things that Blake taught me, and Blake and I were like best friends. So he's my brother by choice. No doubt.
A brother from a different mother.
That's it.
Yeah.
So and on days where we don't feel like necessarily talking about HVAC. I have him to lean on. He has me to lean on. But I think one of the biggest things that Blake taught me, in this industry, was that we are not, air conditioning sales guys. We're not air conditioning. We are in the market for people, and air conditioning is the truck that we get to use to be in the people's business.
Right.
So one thing that we pride ourselves in is obviously being transparent, being thorough, explaining to the customer all of their options, as well as just making sure, like what Blake said, having a good customer relation, a good customer experience for them, because at the end of the day, we're in their home. So we want to make them as comfortable as possible, because heating and air conditioning is not something that not everyone thinks about buying. And I, for one, have never met anybody that woke up and was ready to buy an air conditioner. So,
well, that happened once to us, but we didn't have an air conditioner, so
yeah.
So what'd you do?
we bought an air conditioner.
Well, and that's the great thing about this industry is 100% of the time, this is something that a customer needs, right?
Yeah.
Your house is only as good as comfortable as it is, right? And
right.
If you can't get your home to be comfortable, then is it something that you even want to stay in? At that point, you might be better off staying in a hotel, right?
Right.
If you got kids and animals and all that, and it's not just yourself. There's only so much you can handle. So that's why this industry is great, because we really are helping people. I'll just let people know I'm very passionate about helping, man. Helping where I can. I'm a teacher at heart. And I found that, air conditioning, when I got into the air conditioning industry, I was born and raised in New York City, and moved over to Texas 4 years ago with my family. I had two babies at the time. My son was 2 months old. My daughter was 14 months. And I had no friends, no family, no job lined up, no house lined up. And we just packed a U-Haul trailer, 5x8 trailer, hooked it on the back of a Subaru Legacy, and we were moving to Texas. We did a lot of research on it, and it was the best move we made by relocating our family, because I was doing mechanical in New York, but it was commercial.
Right.
And I wasn't able to tap into a skill set that I never knew I had until I started using it, which was communication, helping. And when I say helping, I mean like literally, like really teaching somebody, like really, like what's inside of somebody, and that we can pull it out of them to get them to go to the next level. And we hear it all the time. What's your why? Why do you get up? Why do you come to work? What's the reason you do what you do? And I was able to tap into that. And I don't like to speak about myself too much, but I've had a lot of friends and a lot of people that I've crossed paths with that said that I've helped them grow and change their lives. And when you get just a little taste of that, at least for me, it's motivating, and it's kind of like anything else, man. If you play sports and you play baseball, you hit a home run, that feels good when you round those bases. So what do you want to do again? You want to hit a home run and get that feeling again, right? So I mean, I'm chasing that feeling. I really am. I'm chasing that feeling of someone else's success, because I've come, I'm past my years, and selling equipment is easy to me. It's a light switch. I could turn it on, turn it off. It's a skill set that, you turn it on, you turn it off. But, for me, I really enjoy training and getting other people to tap into those abilities and say, hey, Blake, you really helped me. You changed my world, man. Like, there's a guy here that came up to me and Jordan before, and he owns his own little company. It's a one-man show. And he's telling Jordan, which is crazy because me and Jordan have a journey together. And I could tell Jordan's so, like, I'm looking at Jordan because he's watching this guy, William, talk to him about me, and Jordan's like so invested in what he's saying because Jordan lived a little bit of that, right? And Jordan's his own person. Jordan did not need me for his success. He was destined for that. He was going to make it there regardless. But he tells me all the time, how he helped me and how I helped him.
Yeah,
right?
A lot of the times in this industry, we come across where we feel like we're always explaining ourselves. We explain ourselves at home, we explain ourselves to our customers, to our boss.
Yeah.
So it's like we're always wearing that selling cap all
Right.
the time, because if you're not selling air conditioning, if you're not selling repairs for air conditioning, you're selling yourself to your wife, you're selling yourself as a father, you're selling yourself as a husband, and a lot of the times it's a little exhausting.
Or to your mama who's calling right now.
Or to my mama who's calling me now, FaceTiming me, as a matter of fact. Love
She
you,
just
Mom.
picked up and said, Mom, I'm on podcast.
Yeah, right. Shout out to my mom. But
I saw you on the Facebook.
yeah. But Blake's a good dude to be around. I'm glad that when the first day I met him, I knew that this was going to be a long-lived friendship. We just had a good time. We clicked, and thankfully enough, he's got me, I got him,
Right.
and we dominate it. We had a what was that dude's name? That was just
William.
hyped up.
Oh, no. Andy Elliott.
Andy, yeah.
That dude is amazing.
That dude was
He's
hyped
fire,
up.
Yeah.
And that's Blake's my Andy,
Right.
each and
That's
every
cool.
day,
Well,
and
and you
I
guys-
know I'm that for him.
Right. And you mentioned it, your brothers at work, right? And we talked a little bit about everybody has this same theme of creating this amazing culture within the organization. And when you do that, like that's literally what you guys are saying. Now you guys as selling techs, you're not business owners. You're not the general managers. You guys are the selling techs. And I know before we jumped on, you're like, we can't really talk about efficiencies or profits or from a business side of things. We can talk from employee side of things. And so anybody that's listening, if they're listening to these shows in order, the last 3 episodes that we had are phenomenal because now we're actually listening to the tech side of view from what those owners have told us. So one thing that you guys mentioned earlier was this customer experience. And I know we had a previous guest on a Prestige Group, Ryan Blackburn and Richard, I forget his last name. But they talked about customer experience is going to be the new battleground. And I firmly believe that. So in terms of, a selling tech's point of view, what are some things that you guys can do as sales techs to increase the customer experience and make sure that they ask for you by name, like that's happening for you guys right now?
So I've done a lot of training. I've trained a lot of techs in the field. I've had the pleasure of being a field supervisor at a previous company. And one of the many things that I was so persistent on when I was training a new tech was when you get into the home, you talk about anything and everything else other than HVAC, right? friends buy from friends.
Yep.
So if you can come in and genuinely have an interesting conversation with that customer in order for them to feel comfortable, because every customer that you walk into each and every day, they have this, what I call an anxiety balloon, and that thing is inflated. But if you can come in and make them feel comfortable and kind of deflate that balloon and make a friend and talk about the guitars or the pictures or the family, how many kids, what's their names, and then reference those names back into the conversations to make them feel, kind of give it a little personal touch when you're speaking with that customer. That is the biggest thing in making sure a customer feels safe and secure inside of their own home, because at the end of the day, regardless of,
You're in their home.
exactly, and at that time, a lot of the times, not every time, you are the most important person in that home, right? And they genuinely want to hear what you have to say. They want adequate solutions. They and especially if it's broke down, they just like, hey, whatever needs to be done, please do it. We need it fixed. And just being able to explain that in the best way possible, all in all. But first and foremost, always make a friend. That's a good customer experience.
That sounds like Dale Carnegie's book a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I'll add to that a little bit because he's 100% correct. I mean, anybody new getting into this industry, anybody who's been in this industry, who's out in the field, I look, I'm an emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So when I say things, I say with 100% everything I got in me. And I can't tell you how important it is to sometimes give a customer a hug. And some of you might think that's crazy, right? Because they're strangers. I can't tell you. I probably, in the 4 years I've been doing this, I've probably given out 40 hugs, 10 hugs a year. They're totally free. we don't charge for them. But just sympathizing with people, I mean, come on, we go in people's houses where they weren't prepared for this, right? Some of them are, and some of them aren't. And some of the things that I like to teach to people is, dude, if they spent $90 with you today, that's $90 that they didn't expect to spend. And I don't know about anybody else, but I mean, I've been to points, Jordan's been to points where we had no money in our pocket, and I couldn't imagine if something like that happened to me, and I'm unprepared, and I have children that I gotta, take care of. So when you ask the question of how do you get people to ask for you and how important that is, well, to answer your question, the way you get it is by really being on the same page with the customer as much as you possibly can. I would say 85 to 90% of the customers we deal with are very sweet people. They do want your service. They called you for a reason. And, sometimes they just need a person to talk to. And at the end of the day, they want the air condition fixed. But when you go to fix air condition, sometimes you realize that you're fixing other stuff. You're not just fixing air condition. I can't tell you how many people prayed for me, man, in their home. Hey, can I pray with you?
Genuinely.
Hey, can we sit down and pray about this? Can we talk about this? And that's the stuff I live for, man. And that's what's great about this. And you never know, there's no 2 days that are the same. There's no 2 days that are the same. And I don't take that for granted. I never do. It's something I'm very serious about. I love what I do. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep helping other technicians. I'm going to keep helping business owners grow their business. And Jordan and I, I'm 30 years old. Jordan's 20, 25, 26. Okay. And I feel like we're the next generation, man. We got good heads on our shoulders. And
you're doing your job right if you don't have to pass out business cards. People know me and Blake by the first name basis.
That's a good point.
Whenever they call into the office and that dispatch lady says, thank you for calling billyGO. How may we help you? And they say, hey, it's time for your maintenance, blah, blah, blah. They go, please send Blake Monforte or Jordan Wiggins. And when you walk into the house and that customer is just so excited, you're doing your job right. That all in all right there is everything. Being up front at the beginning of the call, making a friend, letting them know. I mean, there's such things as agendas. Every day we live by an agenda, and we give those agendas out to our customers each and every day, so they're fully prepared on what's about to happen, why I'm in your house, what could happen moving forward. That's all part of having giving a good customer experience, no doubt.
Love it. Real quick, because we are running up on 15 minutes here. So one thing I wanted to distinguish between, because I know a lot of companies run their business in such a way where a technician goes in and they do repairs and that's it. When it's time to give a quote on a sale or a replacement, they got to bring in a comfort advisor,
Right.
And they come in and close it.
Yep.
So you do things a little bit differently. You are a selling tech. You're making the sales yourself. You're doing estimates yourself.
Correct.
Talk to me about why it is that this is the way billyGO is run.
Not a lot of people do it that way. You know, and this is something that we were talking about last night was companies usually have a service team and they have a sales team because they want the sales team to get really, really good at selling things and being educated on the equipment.
Yep.
And they want the service tech team to get really, really, really good at fixing and diagnosing and setting those leads for a comfort advisor to go out. billyGO is a brand new company. The shirt that Blake's wearing is Sarah, which is a whole nother other conversation. That's what billyGO started. Oh, there you go. Sponsored by Sarah right there. So, you know, Sarah is just I'm on that just a little bit. Sarah has created HVAC industry to love my job. I've loved my job working with Sarah all over again. But anyways, we're small. We're a smaller company. You know, we're building our customer clientele. You know, we've heard in the past that we're going to rebrand this thing, and maybe in the future we're going to go and do it that way. Not that it's the wrong way, but right now we have success with it. It should be where there is a dedicated service team and a dedicated sales team, and a lot of people would agree with that. But Billy's a smart dude. Really smart dude. So we trust him fully on what
we're not
opposed.
We're not opposed to having the comfort advisor role. But some things that's good about this role, right? Because life is about seasons, right? So right now, this is where we're at. We're at the selling technician role. So, you know, this is the season that we're in today. And, you know, what's good about that is I've seen it the other way. I've been the technician who flipped the calls to the comfort advisor, and I had customers ask me, how come I can't just give a quote, right? Because as a service dude, you're in the house, you're building rapport, you're spending time, you're diagnosing, you're doing that maintenance. The customer knows that you've been in their home for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Right. Some customers want you to get that credit. Some customers they feel like, you know, it's all about persuasion and stuff. And they feel like, you know, they want to reciprocate the gift of you giving them a good service. They want to make sure that they're giving you credit back if there is any credit, because customers will ask you that, you know, hey, do you guys get credit for this, right? I'm a nice guy. I tell them a little bit about how this works. I got nothing to hide. So there's that aspect is when you have a selling technician is you don't have to get in that sales guy that the customer thinks, oh, now I'm going to get sold on something. Is this guy going to upcharge me? I don't even know this guy. I know you. You've been here in my home for 2 hours helping me. Why are you sending some out to some other guy? Now I got to make sure I'm home again. Now I got to book a whole nother appointment, right? Is it a bad thing? Absolutely not. But there's different pros and cons. You know, like they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, that's where we are with it. How much time do we have left on this podcast?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right. I want to say something. Can I say something?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say thank you, guys.
No, he said.
I follow your podcast. You know, I've been in your inboxes. You know, we've chatted in Facebook a little bit, and recently. I want to thank Everett Lapel for, you know, also, you know, putting a good word out for me on Facebook and things like that. But you know, this platform that you guys have is a big one, and you know, I appreciate the things you guys do, the sacrifices you made to do this every day, because at the end of the day, you still have to make an income for your family, and to just, you know, sit here and hope that you get an audience and hope that, you know, you have enough guys that want to join your podcast. I just want to let you know from the outside looking in that this was a goal of mine to get on your podcast. So you guys are doing awesome things, and you know, I'm glad you're both smiling while I say this, because it's awesome, man. You guys deserve the credit. I'm not sure how much we give credit to people while they're still alive, right? Like we always give flowers afterwards. We always go to funerals or wakes and we give flowers. And I think it's very important to, you know, compliment while we're still here and just, you know, give that kind of feedback. So I appreciate Evan and Thaddeus, and you know, and I'm glad Jordan's here with me. On you know, it's my first time on the show, and I wouldn't want to be on the show with anybody else but Jordan. So.
Well, I very much appreciate those kind words.
Yeah.
It is validation for the value that we try to bring towards everyone, and you are right. People hear that you don't give enough gratitude. No, people don't get enough thanks, and I'm not just saying this for us. I mean, it just keeps us going. When we hear that from somebody, it keeps at least me going anyways to continue to do what it is that we do. And I think more people can express gratitude to everybody in their lives. I did want to say one final thing just on that before you went on there. The part about efficiency. And I know that Sarah and billyGO is really dialed in for efficiency. When somebody joins Sarah, they double their efficiencies. Usually they're like 35 to 78% efficient, in and around those numbers. But what you talked about there is having the sales or the repair technician and the selling tech in the house for an hour and a half, 2 hours. That rapport is there right now. And you made so much sense on a case to not have a comfort advisor and to just have those selling techs. So sorry to those that think that that's the right way. That is the efficient way, not necessarily the right way, but the efficient way.
Very efficient.
Very efficient. Very efficient. So.
And you know, either way could get you to your goal, man.
Right? Yeah. There's like you said, there's many ways to skin a cat, and that's just one of the ways. And I think it's an efficient way myself.
I truly have no complaints.
Yeah. Well, you make more money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any complaints.
Well, appreciate you guys taking the time.
Sir.
Yep.
Thank
All
you.
right. And
Appreciate it, guys.
no worries. Until next time.
Yes,
Cheers.
sir. That was cool, man.